You spend countless hours prepping your cases, refining your resume, and perfecting your interview responses. But here's the hard truth. MBB, McKinsey, BCG, and Bain have extremely competitive hiring processes with only a small fraction of applicants actually getting through. And it's not just about case skills or grades. The real reasons you're being passed over are much more complex, and they're not what you think. In this video, I'm breaking down the 4 real reasons why MBB will never hire you and what you can do about it. Let's get started. Reason number 1, and this is a big one, a lot of people believe that if they have the right skills, a strong resume, and enough prep, the job will just come to them. But here's the harsh reality. It doesn't work that way with MBB. Simply applying isn't enough. You need to have already pre-sold yourself before you even hit send on that application. What do I mean by pre-sold? Well, in consulting, especially with MBB, it's not enough to just apply and hope for the best. You have to be seen and known before you even step into that interview room. Think of it like this. Before you're even considered for the role, MBB wants to know that you're the type of person who is already aligned with their values, culture, and needs. And that's where most candidates slip up. Here's the thing. If you're applying cold with no prior connection, you're basically a stranger to the firm. That's why most people don't get past the first round of interviews. They simply haven't pre-sold themselves. But don't worry, it's not as hard as it sounds. Here's what you can do right now to start building your network. If there are alumni from your school who work at MBB, reach out to them. People love to help fellow grads, and this can be a great starting point. Attend networking events and consulting meetups. These are places where MBB consultants are actually looking to meet potential candidates. Engage LinkedIn, but don't just send a generic message. Share something thoughtful in your connection request. Mention why you're interested in the firm and ask for advice, not a job. Follow up after meeting someone, but don't be pushy. Keep the conversation alive by sharing interesting insights or articles related to consulting. Stay on the radar without overwhelming them. By doing this, you're not just a name in the applicant pool. You're someone they recognize, and when your resume lands in their hands, they'll already have a sense of who you are and what you bring to the table. We have a video about consulting and networking, so I suggest checking that out. Link in the description. All right, reason number 2, and this is all about the cold, hard truth. The numbers are not in your favor. When you're aiming for MBB, McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, you're up against some seriously stiff competition. Each year, they receive hundreds of thousands of applications, and guess what? The acceptance rate is barely 1%. That means that even if you have a rock-solid resume, top-tier academic background, and incredible interview skills, you still have less than a 1 in 100 chance of getting in. Now, I know this might sound discouraging, but here's the key takeaway. The odds are stacked against everyone. Even if you're perfectly qualified, there's just not enough room for all the great candidates. That's why MBB firms can afford to be super selective. They're looking for the best of the best, and the truth is most applicants just don't make the cut because of sheer numbers. I know this from firsthand experience. I've been a recruiter at BCG. I've sifted through countless applications and helped evaluate candidates, so I can tell you this. The competition is fierce, and MBB firms are flooded with top-tier applicants, all vying for those limited spots. So how do you break through this brutal reality? Here's the fix. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. While MBB might be the ultimate goal, you need to cast a wider net. Take a look at other consulting firms that are rapidly growing. Some of these firms offer incredible career opportunities with less competition, and you could be a strong candidate there. Plus, gaining experience at one of these firms can actually be a stepping stone to landing your dream role at MBB later on. And here's something else. Don't wait until the application window opens to start thinking about this. You have to build your network well in advance. The more people you know in the industry, the more opportunities you'll find to get insider advice and even referrals that can improve your chances. And these connections aren't just about MBB. They'll help you learn about other high-quality firms that are hiring too. Remember, we already talked about how important networking is in reason number 1. This is your chance to really leverage those connections across the board. So don't be discouraged by the odds. Instead, expand your options, network smartly, and get your foot in the door somewhere else. You'll increase your chances and be ready for bigger opportunities down the road. Reason number 3, you don't have an unfair advantage. Here's the hard truth. If you're a typical candidate with good grades, a solid internship, and a good amount of case prep, you're still competing with thousands of candidates just like you. Being good doesn't make you stand out. MBB gets flooded with candidates who have all the right credentials, and while it's great, It doesn't automatically push you ahead. MBB loves outliers, people who have that extra something that makes them different. Now, as someone who's been on the other side of the recruiting table at BCG, I can tell you that candidates with solid credentials are often still up against hundreds of others who have similar backgrounds. The difference maker? The candidates who have that unique advantage, those who have something more, whether it's a killer project, a unique skill, or a surprising experience. BCG and other MBB firms are looking for candidates who can stand out in a crowded pool. You might be wondering, what if I don't have a crazy spike or an amazing outlier achievement? Maybe you don't have a startup under your belt or haven't won international competitions. That's okay. You can still create an unfair advantage, but you need to dig deeper. Look for ways to highlight your unique strengths, your passion for a specific field, a deep dive into a niche area, or maybe a leadership experience where you made a lasting impact. When I was recruiting at BCG, I wasn't just looking at resumes full of academic achievements and case competition wins. I was looking for something extra, whether it was a problem-solving skill shown through a volunteer project or an entrepreneurial mindset that had been demonstrated through internships. Even if you don't have that crazy achievement, you need to be able to show that you think differently. You're an asset because of your approach and unique perspective, not just your grades. Where do you show this off? In your resume, highlight these types of achievements under leadership experiences section, not just under work experience. In your cover letter, weave in a story that demonstrates your unique perspective or problem-solving ability tied with the firm's values. And in your interview, use these experiences to illustrate how you think different or bring a unique value to the team. We have videos on how to use these stories to get an interview or pass your fit interview, link in the description below. The bottom line, MBB hires candidates who bring something different to the table. Don't blend in with the crowd. If you got those small but meaningful achievements, highlight them in a way that shows why you're an asset, even if your spike isn't that traditional wow factor. It's about demonstrating what makes you special, even if it's in a quieter way. All right, here's the last reason why MBB might not hire you. You're casting too wide a net with your applications. I know that you want to land a job at one of the top firms, but sending out generic applications to every big name consulting firm is not going to cut it. You can't just spray and pray. MBB wants focus, alignment, and tailored values. They're not impressed by quantity. Having been on the other side as a BCG recruiter, I've seen this mistake countless times. You might think applying to McKinsey, BCG, and Bain and all the big players is the best way to increase your chances, but you're actually diluting your impact. You can't just throw the same application everywhere and hope something sticks. MBB wants to see that you get them, that you've done your homework, and that you're applying with intent. So many times I saw applications addressed to McKinsey or Bain, and I was working at BCG. And they told me about how passionate they were to be wanting to work at those firms. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm BCG. Why don't you tell us to McKinsey or Bain? Or people would tell us about how they're interested in the position of associate consultant or business analyst. These are positions at Bain and McKinsey. The same position is called associate at BCG. Immediately, we would know that this was a recycled cover letter. And you bothered to learn the positions at those firms, but you didn't bother to learn ours. This was not a good first impression. Here's what I mean. Instead of blasting your resume and cover letter to every firm in sight, focus on a few that really align with your values, strengths, and goals. Look at what each firm prioritizes, their culture, their approach to consulting, and the types of candidates they hire. Then tailor your application to speak directly to those things. Don't just list your experiences, show how it fits perfectly with the firm's needs. Demonstrate your understanding of their challenges and explain how you can help solve them. That's how you stand out. It's not about casting a wide net. It's about targeting and making your case stronger than ever. And I call this the focused approach, and it works. At the end of the day, MBB isn't looking for someone who's good at everything. They're looking for someone who's great at the right things. If you keep applying to every firm with a generic application, you're never going to hit the mark. But if you're intentional, focused, and targeted with your applications, you'll give yourself the best chance possible. So there you have it. We've covered the real reasons why MBB might not hire you. These are the hard truths that no one talks about, but understanding them is key to improving your chances of landing that dream role. Now, let's get down to it. If you're someone who thrives in dynamic, high-pressured environments, loves solving complex, high-impact problems, and is eager to grow and learn at a rapid pace, MBB might be the perfect fit for you. Sure, the process can be competitive, but the personal and professional growth you'll experience, absolutely worth it. So what's your take? Do you think you've got what it takes to land an offer at MBB? Drop a comment below with the firm you're targeting, whether it's McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, and I'll share specific resources to help you crush your application. For example, if you're aiming for McKinsey, I'll send you some exclusive tips and strategies to help you nail the application process. And if you are 100% sure of pursuing a consulting career at McKinsey, BCG, or Bain, or other consulting firms, I would love to help you. Our team of former consulting recruiters and interviewers have created a free training where we share the secrets on how to get and pass your interviews and land your dream consulting job, regardless of your background. All you have to do is click on the link below and that's it. You'll be on your way to your dream consulting job. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear it from Connor. Connor received an offer from BCG despite being rejected before. I'll link to his story somewhere above my head. Okay, that's it for now. I'll see you in the next video.